At least can walk into a car and take a bath.
Wait, so we just gonna act like we're not gonna talk about what just happened?
Yeah, I know it's kinda crazy.
Crazy ain't the word. Who the fuck was that?
That's my roommate.
Okay, but why is he talking to you like that?
Like what?
Like he's your damn daddy.
Nah, it's not even like that.
I don't know what it's like, but what I do know is I was here to watch a movie, hang out with you, but now I'm going home and it's past your bedtime. Big grown ass nigga taking baths and shit.
Damn, it's just kinda tough.
Don't you wanna get that? Shouldn't you get that?
Yeah. How far is he parked, nigga? Say your goodbye. Get your ass back in this house.
Today, from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, it's Week 9 of the NFL on EA Sports.
Dog, why have I never seen that one, dog? Oh my goodness, that shit was hilarious.
Matthew Stafford and the New York Giants taking on Jordan Love and the Washington Football Team.
We welcome everybody to the Garden State. EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Washington Football Team and the New York Giants.
Sam Martin is set to kick off.
The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9? And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. They'll be led out by a former Pro Bowl quarterback out of the University of Georgia, Matthew Stafford.
I like this guy, and the reason I do, he tends to stand an even keel, doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. The shotgun snap for Stafford. Open man is Sims. He's got
Get some fucking pressure on the quarterback.
And he will have a Giants first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. On the carry, it's Davis. He'll get about 4 here, down to the 43-yard line.
The ball carrier.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle, feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
This is 3rd and 1, very likely 4-down territory even if they don't get it, though. Davis, he'll try to run for it. And he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Off of play action, here's Stafford. He's letting this one go for Fuller. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. So very close to a turnover there in the end zone. Will Fuller was the intended target, but it'll be 2nd down. throwing again. Stafford, and complete to Zach Ertz. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. And this will be play number 8 of the opening drive. It's 3rd and short. They go back to the ground now with Davis. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 4th down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Makes the score Giants 3.
In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. So out comes the Washington offense onto the field. They'll be led out by a first-round pick in the 2020 draft out of Utah State. This is Jordan Love.
You know what I did in pregame? I made sure I touched him as he went by. I want a little bit of what he's got.
The golden arm from last week.
Oh, how much fun was that to watch that game tape, all right? The number of touchdowns, what was that, 5 last week?
Yeah.
But 0 interceptions. So you think he's due to throw a pick? But I'm betting that he continues the streak in this game.
That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down.
First down, Washington.
Play fake. Here's Love. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. This is caught inside the 15. And he's able to get this down deep on the Giants side of the field.
A 49-yard gain.
They lulled them to sleep there, so to speak. That was all set up by the running game, wasn't it?
Another example of what all offensive coordinators tell us. When the running game's operating, it really opens up the playbook, and that's when they hit them with the play action. And you can see the defenders rushing towards the line of scrimmage, then scrambling back trying to cover. Couldn't get there in time.
Well scripted. They had the big running play, now the big passing play. Right back to him for 10 more and a first. So 3 plays already, 1st and goal, and they are wasting. And that is caught. Touchdown, Washington. DK Metcalf hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And Washington has taken the lead.
Daniel Carlson on.
A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone. The Giants getting the football back here for their second drive. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them want to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. And he connects with Ertz.
Stafford's pass.
And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And just not a ton of room to work with. He'll get it to the 15 for a gain of 2. A check on the numbers for Chubb from a week ago. 20 carries, 84 yards, and a touchdown.
They look like a team that really emphasized the running game in the offseason. They were going to build around it. Didn't matter if they were going to run gap scheme, power scheme, whatever. They've got a runner who finds yardage if you give him just a little bit of space.
second down. Love going for Metcalf on the deep ball. It got his man complete. Touchdown, Washington.
Complete to number
DK Metcalf, 85 yards. And Washington able to come up with a quick strike touchdown. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. That'll be taken about a yard deep. And he won't quite make it to the 25.
The Giants take over first and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
New York ready to go again offensively. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
On second down, Davis able to power through. Still staying
fuck
on
out
his feet. Are you serious?
Fucking no-name
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards the pickup there. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Stafford. Open man here, Sims complete. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Throwing again on second down. Stafford got his man, Robbie Anderson.
Come on, dog. That's
take it on in for a giant touchdown. Robbie Anderson. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Giants able to get this back within a touchdown. And a nice job by him to catch the slant and then navigate and break free.
And receivers love slant routes because it gets the ball in their hands so quickly and oftentimes on the move. When they're on the move like that, then they get to use their best asset, which is usually their speed.
And their speed sometimes, like this instance, can take them into the end zone.
Washington takes over first and
the offense trots back out there. Let's turn our focus now to Nick Chubb. Those are his numbers through roughly the first half of the season, and given that, you'd have to think he's on pace for a 1,000-yard campaign.
Steady as he goes, steady goes the offense. But you know what else is happening, too, because they are a team now recognized with the ability to run the football. You've got to be able to throw it better now, right? Better throwing lanes, better opportunities for the guys downfield, maybe more one-on-one coverage, which you should be able to beat easier. Yeah, he's establishing not just a tone, but an identity for his team.
And that's a discussion we had a couple days ago in the team meetings, talking about this running game, opening up the passing game. We'll see if that continues to happen. And now here's a deep shot that's complete. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. DK Metcalf on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And Washington able to come up with a quick strike touchdown. So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time, and they've got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually talk about an offense making adjustments, right? This is all about the defense. They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down. Do they blitz a little bit more? Do they play more zone coverage? Right now, they don't know where to go because they're hitting them in every direction.
Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line, so bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision. Loses him about 4 yards. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way. as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down. Now, that screen there on 2nd down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying is one thing. We can second-guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize that it's broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the 1st down on 3rd down. That way you don't lose any yardage. They dialed up the screen pass on 3rd down, and for a second it looked like it was all going to come together, and they had a chance to pick up a 1st down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. They begin this drive with Chubb. He'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
Complete to DK.
His big game continues. Already has the 3 touchdown grabs, tacking on some more yardage and a 1st down.
And how precise has his route running been in this game? We just saw him get open yet again, and he's also made adjustments as the defense has tried to really stop him.
On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb, and he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play as we have reached the 2-minute warning. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
At the Giants' 45-yard line.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Now we've got a Giant player here slow to get up after that last play. The 1st down line at the 34 here on 3rd down. We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium.
The ball carrier.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there forcing a loss on that play.
They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. And they'll get to this and touch it. Looks like, yeah, right at the 15-yard line here.
At their own 15.
Back on offense, New York gets set to take over. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Yeah. He'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. Now the Giants will use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as a stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. 1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a 1-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. From the gun, here's Stafford. This one caught by Davis. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
Complete.
Stafford barking out signals and trying to get his guys set quickly. And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Stafford. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left. And likely time for one final play here in the half, so they will go for it on 4th down. The final shot before the break, Stafford. Caught by the tight end, Ertz. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. So Washington in a good spot. They've got the lead. They will get the football as the second half gets underway from the 6. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
First and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
So here's Washington now to take over. They've got the lead right now, and remember, they are riding that very impressive 7-game winning streak, trying to push it to 8. The third quarter starts with a run by Chubb, and he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Solid way to start the drive, 13 yards, picking up the first.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
25 yards, the pickup there, and also a first down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Now this one complete on the slant route. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run.
Well, it certainly doesn't matter if it's been through the air like on this play or on the ground. I don't know what's going on with this defense. In a sense, they've been AWOL on this drive so far. 3 plays, 3 first downs given up. They've got to find the answers, and they've got to find them quick.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
The quick slant caught. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. No question that they're going to continue to look his way. 6 catches in the first half and now 7 on the game. And they've got 3 tight ends here on 1st and goal to add some extra mass. They'll give it to Chubb. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Nick Chubb, his 14th touchdown now on the year. And Washington going to add on to their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here's the Giants offense now getting set to start the third quarter. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well.
Will Fuller, nobody there to stop him. And he's a long ways into Washington territory before hitting the turf. A big play there on the catch and run. And even 60 yards. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Stafford. He takes us down to about the 12 for a gain of 3.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Stafford's pass. Complete.
I don't know how well our microphones are picking it up for those of you at home, but Charles, you and I can hear it. A lot of groans right now coming from this crowd.
I don't know if we're picking up what's happening in the stadium or from the people who are supporting this team at home, because it's coming through loud and clear to you and me. This offense, they've been stuck in neutral much of the game, and on that last play, they actually went in reverse. I think this crowd would have liked neutral, don't you?
Yeah, neutral would have strongly been preferred. They'll take anything positive at this point. And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost, and that will cut the lead down to 13. So a good kick there to polish off the drive with 3 points.
Yeah, coaches always talk about finishing a drive with a kick. 2 of them give you points, either an extra point or, in this case, a field goal.
Well, a dangerous return man showing it here.
At their own 31-yard line.
A look at Washington as they come onto the field. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
And he'll get this up to about the 40. That's going to be a 6-yard gain. It leaves him with 3rd down and just a yard to go.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And he's going to go backward. They get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to make it 4th down. And I don't think he got there. He did not. They stop him a yard shy. Nick Chubb stops short, and the Giants are going to take over in great field position. Stafford on 1st down. They'll set up the screen with Davis. Not much there, only a yard.
Complete to Mike Davis.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9.
9-yard line.
From the gun, Stafford, the throw taken in by Sims. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd and 8.
Operating from the gun, Stafford. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation. And a great return as they're finally able to take him down.
Well, you're trailing. It's the 4th quarter, and you've got to throw the football. But the defense knows this, too. So they're just going to sit back, bring in an extra defensive back or two, the old nickel or dime strategy, Brandon, and wait for you to put that bad boy up for grabs. And this one winds up being intercepted.
And he'll be corralled right around the 34. 16 yards right off the bat and a 1st down.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
1st down, Love to pass. And he's got the hook up to Ruggs. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 19 yards there on the catch and run. Catch number 100 for his career right there, and it's good enough to keep the chains moving.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And this is taken in for a Washington touchdown. Dante Pettis, his 6th touchdown of the season. And Washington able to stretch that lead out even further. And now they'll empty the backfield here as they elect to go for 2. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Lions take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Getting set to go again, Matthew Stafford trots back onto the field. And that interception that ended their previous drive likely also ended any shot they had at victory.
Yeah, long road back from here, no doubt about that one. But let's face it, if you're going to go out there and compete, you want to try and end on a strong note, don't you?
Absolutely. It won't end in a victory like you said, but they can maybe take something positive out of this one. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down.
And 12 at the 20-yard line.
From the gun, Stafford. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. And catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd and 7.
Here's Stafford. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he is not going anywhere. He will not even get back to the line of scrimmage as the clock will stop at the 2-minute warning. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. They snap it to Stafford. He's going to let it fly. And this is going to be incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And Washington will take control of the football and grip. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
At the 19-yard line, it's a gain of 6, and it's 3rd down.
And he'll have the 1st down, getting this one to the 14-yard line. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that 1st. That one looks like he'll throw here. And this will be caught. We'll forget taking the knee. Some late gamesmanship here. As a throw for a late touchdown.
Well, partner, when a team's up this big, this late in the game, I always wonder what's their motivation, because if it's me, I'm thinking about pulling on the reins a little bit. But for them, I don't think it's in their DNA. It's not in their head coach's makeup at all. I think his opinion is, You stop us. We're not supposed to pull back ourselves.
Giants 13.
Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive, it's all going to work.
That's called